Next, I want to take you on a little bit of a tour of the printer. We're just going to go sort of a 360 here, just so you'll know the parts and so forth. I'd like to first start with the magic of why the Ricoh printer prints so darn fast. What is its secret to speed? Let's pop the hood and see what's underneath. This is the part where the paper normally would ride through the printer, and the print head is located over here. These are those tubes that I mentioned earlier that are now filled with ink. You can sort of see the colors. And the print head over here moves back and forth, and the paper is transported directly underneath the print head. So the thing I'd like to point out is this is the fancy electrostatically charged transport belt for the printer. So it's charged very much like a color laser's belt, so that it holds the paper in place as the paper moves through the printer. And because it's charged, it can move that paper much faster than, say, some of the other inkjet printers out there. And it does a great job. And so Ricoh adopted this technology from its expertise in making color laser printers. One of the advantages of these printers is this is a very green printer. We're not using anything other than a fancy colored water, which we call sublimation ink, in paper. So it's a really nice technology for this purposes. Now, the reason I want to point out this belt is occasionally that belt can get ink on it, and occasionally it needs to be cleaned. We have a video showing you how to clean the belt, but probably maybe once or twice a year, something like that. You can call us for advice. Let's continue our tour. All right, we're at the back of the printer, and you might ask, what in the world is this thing? It's the duplex unit. Duplex units allow you to print on both sides of the paper. That's not a feature that we can use in sublimation. It just doesn't work out. At least I haven't figured out a way to work it out. But I want to show you how to deal with the duplex unit. And why would I do that? Well, in case of a paper jam, sometimes the paper will be caught up in the duplex unit. First, to open the duplex unit is just pushing this down, and you can look in here. It's got some rollers and things like that, and this essentially is used to flip the paper so that the paper can be pushed back through the printer and printed on the other side. Again, we don't use the duplex feature, but the duplex unit does need to be installed in the printer. All right, so you'd open this occasionally to recover jam. Of course, it's fairly rare. All right, now I want to show you how to remove the duplex unit. We just push these gray buttons and we can remove the duplex unit like this. And again, this is the back of the printer. And occasionally, it's not happened to me before, but there might be a piece of paper stuck in here that we'd have to pull out. Again, it's not something that I've seen before, but the duplex unit is designed to be removed in case there is a strange paper jam that you need access to. Otherwise, just don't mess with the duplex unit, just leave it where it's at. So let's put it back in. Okay, what I'd like to do now is install the bypass tray. Bypass tray is an optional accessory, and it's designed to provide you a second paper source, and very important, it extends the paper width from 11 inches, which is the width in the paper tray. It extends it 2 more inches to 13. And that 13-inch width has turned out to be fairly important for our industry because we now have a larger paper size to do larger sublimation. And so we now provide paper in 13-inch widths at 13 by 19, and we provide a new size, 13 by 21, okay? And 13 by 21 is a good fit for those out there that have that DK20S press. So let's go ahead and install it. You got the little gray handles here, just as before. And this puppy is very, very easy to install. And so just put it in, it snaps that easy. Next, I'd like to introduce you to another optional accessory. It's the bottom tray. The bottom tray holds the same paper sizes essentially as the bottom tray and the built-in tray in the printer. That is, you know, the mug papers, the small papers, the letter, legal, 11 by 17. So the largest paper size it will hold is 11 by 17. Its capacity is 250 sheets, just like the built-in tray here. So why would you want to buy this? Well, it's relatively inexpensive, and if you're dealing with multiple paper sizes, like for instance you do letter, you do legal for your license plates, or you need 11 by 17, it just becomes very convenient keeping your paper sizes in each tray so that you don't have to remember what size is in the tray, and you're not always changing them. So again, it's a convenience item. It's not necessary. Unlike the bypass tray does something unique. It does a wider paper, 13 inches here. This tray duplicates the tray that's in the printer. And so I recommend you get some help for that. We'll see if I can pull this off to lift up the printer. It's a little heavy. It's about 35 pounds. But at any rate, what we're going to do is we're just going to set the printer on top of here, and then there's a little bolting mechanism on the side that bolts it to the printer. So we'll just lift it up here. And there we go. Not too bad. Okay, this is the final mounting piece that basically holds the printer to the bottom tray. And we pop it in here like this. Put the screw in. And I don't have a screwdriver with me, but after you get it in there a little bit, tighten it with a screwdriver. Looks like it takes Phillips head. And that will keep the two together like that. While we're over here, I want to show you where you plug your cables in that connect the printer to your computers. This printer does not have wireless, and nor do we want to have wireless. Wireless is dismally slow, and so we need fast, consistent printing. So this printer supports Ethernet, 10100 Ethernet, and it supports USB 2.0. And so you'll see the connectors in here, and it's got this little snazzy little cover here that allows you, after you have your cables in, you run them down, and voila, very neat installation. Now that we've installed our two optional accessories, the bottom tray, the bypass tray, we're going to cycle power on the printer, and that will allow the printer to recognize our new accessories. So we just push and hold the button here, and you'll see a message shutting down. The blue light will blink just for a second, and then the display will go completely blank. All right, now we're ready to turn it back on. So we'll push and hold it just for a second. Once it boots up, we'll see it waiting, and then momentarily we'll see ready, and that's when we're good to go.